So of course, the polyphenols, as I mentioned, there are so many. I quickly, I'm not going to deal with it because I have only another 20 minutes, because I have another 15 minutes, I think, because I'm going to give 10 minutes for the discussion. So these are the, some of the, this one. I'll go to my style, whatever that we are trying. So what we have done it, we have used Sesamol. As I said, Sesamol as the, the building block for our, creation of new molecules. And then we also use the scopolamine as the one of the, if you look at that, this is also orthomethoxyphenol. And then Sesamol is not orthomethoxyphenol. Instead, they have a methylene dioxy bridge group, which is a very important structure. It's an important structure in a phytochemical platform. And then resveratrol, as I mentioned, is another important phenolic compound. So what we have done it, we have used Sesamol as the building block. Then we have created a series of structures. So this I'm going to skip because phytochemical, as I mentioned, you can make use of these phytochemicals for drug delivery, all those things. Why this is being used? Why phytochemical is being used in a in a cardiovascular system? You say cardiotonic, antioxidant, ACE inhibitor, angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitor, NADPH oxidase inhibitor, circulatory disorder. You take anything that this can offer. So I'm going to, and why this is how this new chemical entity derived from phytochemical. So it can offer solutions to so many cardiovascular problems like obesity, dyslipidemia, aging, hypertension, stroke, all those things. So of course, as I mentioned, this is some of the recently used phytochemical in our lab: Sesamol, ferulic acid, and lipoic acid, niacin. Niacin is a pyridine carboxylic acid. It's a well-known cardioprotective agent. And then aposide. These are the 6 chemical entities that we have used in our laboratory to create a new chemical. And then we have shown proof of concept laboratory study. And then we have shown the derived, the phytochemical based derived new chemical entities have shown excellent cardioprotection. So which I'm going to show you in terms of few results. These are the some applications, and then I'm going to what are the sources of Sesamol, and then this is the what are the scaffold, Sesamol scaffold that can be used. So look at that. We have highlighted in a green color where this specific methylene dioxide bridge is fundamentally used in the creation of this one. So these are the molecules that we have created. If you look at this, see structure 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, all these things, they are all created from Sesamol with a simple chemistry. We don't use any magical multi-step or something. We have used simple 1 step or maximum 2 steps. That's all. We don't want to spend too much of time. See, I'm happy to do a lot of synthesis in the lab. In fact, as an organic chemist, I would like to explore more organic chemistry, but I cannot spend much time in doing synthesis. At the end of the day, once I make the molecule, I should show that these molecules are cardioprotective, or it is benefit to the disease target, because students are working for their PhD. If I ask them to do only synthesis, then you need to show some application, you need to show some publications, all those things. So these chemical methods are very simple, 1 or 2 steps, and we were able to do it, we are able to prepare it in a high yield with the high purity. Because when we are doing studies for biological system, it should be as pure as possible. We don't want to use contaminated structures, contaminated molecules, and then test it and show that it is. So that's why we are so careful. We are so specific. The purity of the molecule is very important. And then we have done, column purification, crystallization, and even we have done HPLC to confirm the purity of the drug. So of course, these are the as I mentioned, these are the derivatives that we use. Small derivative that we have used, and we have carried out specific antioxidants, regular antioxidant studies. where we know the DPPH and ABTS assays and all. This is very routine, where it is the derivative, the sesamol derivative that we prepared, were able to significantly quench the DPPH radical or ABTS radical, because since these are phenolic aromatic compounds, they were able to significantly interact with the radicals in an in vitro system, and then they were able to significantly reduce the inhibition up to in a significant way. Say for example, positive control 100% means our compounds MDP means methylene dioxyphenol derivatives. So please in the graph it says MDP, methylene dioxyphenol, is another name for sesamol. So MDP 6 means sesamol derivative 6. MDP 5 is sesamol derivative 5, something like that. So we are seeing that it has significantly reduced the DPPH radical. And then these are the structures. So these are the structures that we synthesize in the lab, and then all these compounds have been well characterized. All these compounds have been well defined, and all these compounds are unknown in the literature. That means that these compounds can be used for for a specific size. Suppose if you can show that it is specific to we can go for a patent. So because nothing has been done. So this is some of the example that we have developed. We have developed in terms of creating the structures based on this sesamol. All these are carrying methylene dioxyphenyl. Methylene dioxyphenyl. Look at the structure of some of the derivative that you know. Maybe some of them may be able to appreciate the why I'm telling that from chemistry point of view. We have created structures where the structures are the methylene dioxyphenol sesamol is being attached with the other phenolic phytochemicals to a specific bonding, because bonding is very important in the biological reactivity. Correct. So what type of bonding that you, so there are ester bonding is there, amide bonding is there, ether bonding is there, and then carbon-carbon bonding. So if you look at this structure, we have created a system where we have used a specific ester bond, amide bond, something like that. In an amide, ester and amide we have focused, because many of these, say for example proteins, that it's a amino acids, the combination of amino acids through peptide bond, where amide bond is there. So we wanted to create these chemical entities where it has some natural similarity in terms of bonding, in terms of structural integrity, and then so that there will be a better interaction with the biological targets. That's why we have created these molecules in terms of either ester bond or amide bond. So these are the molecules that we have created. And then, of course, we tested. We checked. It's only a proof of. We have not done any study. By the way, we have not published this data actually, specifically this application of sesamol, in the inhibition of SARS-CoV-19. So we have done only the docking studies. So of course, we have the compound. We have prepared the compound, but since we have used the compound for cardiac protection, we wanted to see that whether this compound can be used for COVID-19. That's the idea. Because originally our lab is focusing only on cardiovascular system. But as a as a scientist, we know that we think our thinking process should be multidirectional. We know, because that's the science works. Correct? Science works because we think in different angle. While I'm thinking cardiovascular system, my students, they are asking, sir, what will happen? Because people are talking about COVID vaccine, COVID drug, and then identifying the new drugs for this pandemic. We have to come out from this pandemic as soon as possible. We don't want to stuck into this pandemic forever till our this one. Correct? We have to come out. So people are contributing in terms of developing a new vaccine. And so my students, they were asking, sir, shall we do some molecular preliminary docking where we can check whether it is working. So I asked them, see, anyway that it's only we made the molecule in the lab, but we are for some other application, just going to try. So again, it's a proof of preliminary results extremely positive. And then we have done up to that level. That's all. And then we we have not progressed after that because we have to do the in vitro and all. In fact, as a matter of fact, Dr. Kumaran can also, he also, knows some of the studies that, we have been doing it in terms of collaboration and all. In fact, I'm happy to share all these details when we are going for discussion about. So this I just want to skip all these things because some of the binding, docking, parameters that we wanted to show that we share this. And then we also done a DFT, density functional theory, where we wanted to show where is the electrostatic potential, how the interaction can happen. Because when you take a simple organic molecule, these molecules have a hydrophobic and hydrophilic characteristics, and then these molecules have a specific the polarization and the dipole movement, because electronegativity, the delocalization of electrons in a particular space within that molecule, and this will have a significant effect when you are going to deal with the biological system. So this DFT, density functional theory, has provided an avenue for us to identify what is the electrostatic potential cloud, the electron, the cloud that can that will help us to identify the binding pocket in the system. Just to show you so as I mentioned, apart from sesamol, we have also used ferulic acid as the a building block, and we have created so many molecules. Because if you look at the structure of ferulic acid, there are two pharmacophore. Two, that what is in a biological system, especially in the pharmacology or pharmaceutical chemistry, people use the word pharmacophore. Pharmacophore is a chemical entity or chemical fragment responsible for the pharmacological activity. And then there is another term called oxophore. Oxophore is a chemical entity which does not contribute to the pharmacological activity, but it will help. It will help the pharmacophore. So it will hold the pharmacophore. Oxophore will hold the pharmacophore, and it can provide the. That's why if you look at the ferulic acid, orthomethoxy group, and then the specific alpha beta unsaturated carboxylic acid or pharmacophore, which is responsible for the biological activity. On the other hand, the phenyl group is oxophore. It's an oxophore responsible for it does not offer any direct effect, but since it is holding the pharmacophore, it's very important, because without which the system cannot exert its biological activity. So it's very important. So we have used ferulic acid as a building block, and then we have created lot of derivatives out of it, and then we have shown these derivatives are extremely versatile in terms of biological activity. As I mentioned, one of the best example ferulic acid is a source of ferulic acid. It's a curcumin. Look at the structure. It's an alpha beta unsaturated 1,3 dicarbonyl compound with the alpha beta unsaturated system, and then having a orthomethoxyphenyl group. And then we all know that curcumin is extremely powerful in terms of many. If you look at the literature, there are thousands and thousands of papers are available on curcumin, application of curcumin in various. And then it is the curcumin, the work on curcumin is continuously appearing in the literature. It continues to appear even today. If you type in, you will see that so many papers will be appearing about the curcumin. So if you look at the structure, it's off ferulic acid, off of the ferulic acid. That's why if you go back. So look at this, off of the molecule is a ferulic acid. That's why we wanted to use ferulic acid as the building block, create a new chemical entity. And then these are the some of the examples which we have already designed, we have already synthesized, and then we have already established the structures by way of characterization of through IR, nuclear infrared spectroscopy, and nuclear magnetic resonance by photon and carbon, and mass spectrometry also. So because ultimately when we synthesize the molecule, it is very important that we characterize it in a specific way, in a very systematic way. We don't want to create a compound assuming that something is there, but we have to be careful. So all these molecules, my lab, especially my PhD students, my first question is, the moment they say that they completed the synthesis, I'll ask, did you characterize it well? Then I will ask, then I will sit with them. I will go through the all the spectrum they have collected, and then make sure that whatever they claim, the structure they claim matches with the characteristic peaks. Because I don't want to people later on they talk about not fully characterized molecule is being used in the biological study. So my lab is very specific about the characterization of this molecule, and then I won't even consider for publication if we don't have any of this, because all these molecules are well characterized. We have a all data on them. Because again, these are ferulic acid based, and then some of them we tested in an in vitro model, and then they are showing extremely useful activity. Of course, this is the this is some of the docking study that we have done for specific protein like myeloperoxidase protein, and then we have also done a docking study with the angiotensin converting enzyme enzymes, and see that these derivatives can be used as an inhibitor of myeloperoxidase protein or base protein. Of course, that is a simple synthetic route for ferulic acid based molecule. As I mentioned, we adopt very simple synthetic route, 1 or 2 steps. That's all. We don't go for maximum. These are some of the synthetic route which I'm going to skip, and then these are some of the exam studies we have done. Dose dependent inhibition of myeloperoxidase. Myeloperoxidase is another important protein responsible for manifestation of several cardiovascular diseases. So we have tested these our molecules for the inhibition of myeloperoxidase, and then we have significantly shown that our molecule can inhibit myeloperoxidase in a significant way. Of course, we also show that our molecule is an extremely powerful in terms of the HDL, improving the HDL level by way of doing a specific assay, TBOS, thiobarbiturate acid assay. So where we have shown that our inhibitor can significantly increase the level of HDL. By increasing the level of HDL, it can offer a cardioprotective property. So what's the time now? The time is 3:50. I'll take 5 more minutes, then I will give a session for open for discussion, of course. And then we have also done some other reversible inhibitor assays to show that our inhibitor is not a non-suicidal inhibitor. And then we have also done efflux, cholesterol efflux assay, where we have shown that our molecules, the ferulic acid molecules, are extremely powerful in terms of cardiac protection by clearing the bad cholesterol. That's a efflux percentage efflux assay, and then these are some of the ferulic acid molecules. And then I just quickly this one, because I need to, because other biological characterizations, decomposition of HPODE, peroxy octave, decadienoic acid assay. Because some of these studies, by the way, I should give credit to my collaborators in US, University of Central Florida, Orlando, where all these some of these studies, especially these HDL, LDL studies, are being carried out in US, University of Central Florida, Orlando, Florida lab, where they have all the facilities. So we used to, since we are collaborating, so they have done all these studies, and then they have we send a sample and then they tested it. So this is the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide, and then LPS induced pro-inflammatory TNF alpha gene reduction assay, and then LPS induced pro-inflammatory IL-1 beta gene reduction. So we have also done an MTT assay, and then we have shown that this is it's not as toxic to the cytotoxic. And then, as I said, this is the other class of compound. Next is we have also done a niacin, pyridine carboxylic acid, an extremely another cardioprotective agents. Avocado, it is present in avocado, sweet potatoes, pumpkin seeds. And then I'm going to quickly, this is the effect of nicotinic acid. It is niacin is also called nicotinic acid, pyridine carboxylic acid, and then it has a significant role in the HDL protection. So then we have also done some studies in apocynin derivatives, which is again orthomethoxy phenolic group. And then we have, because this is a story, apocynin. When I was in a company in US, we have a collaboration with the group in Canada. So where that group, they have shown that this apocynin molecule is an extremely useful reagent in neuroprotection. In fact, we have several publication on immunoprotection of apocynin and derivatives, and then we have shown that it is extremely protective against useful in brain research, neuroscience. We have created several apocynin based molecules, and then we have also shown some of these apocynin based molecules are useful in other system also. And then this is quickly, and then these are the publications that we have developed, we have published based on the methoxyphenol derivative as a cardioprotective agent, and then some of these and then synthetic glycol also be used as a cardiovascular agents. And then it's just to show that some sample publications where we have used this phytophenol as a powerful agent. So finally, to conclude, because I have another 2 minutes, to conclude, my lab, especially my students, we are trying to contribute to. I don't say it's a major contribution, very small, but we have done some, studies which can show that phytochemical people are showing it, other labs are showing it, but we also contributed that. Phytochemicals chemicals or derivatives can make a significant contribution in the development of drugs against the specific decay, especially cardiovascular disease, and then for neurovascular disease also. Then we have used a specific model, specific chemical entity, small ferulic acid, pyridine carbide, and then we have also used lipoic acid. Due to lack of time, I just skipped these. So we have also used lipoic acid as one of the building block, and we have shown this one. And then currently that my PhD students are pursuing research in this direction, and then we are hoping that more contribution will be done from my lab, and at least we are happy that we can contribute in the research in the jungle of phytochemicals, and that our contribution too small, but we feel that we are happy we are doing something to this cause. Okay, thank you so much for being patient hearing. I'm happy to take any questions. Once again, I thank organizer for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you for giving this wonderful talk about the phytochemicals. It's really impressive. And your drug design, you are expert in drug design. I know already that, but now I'm see everything very clearly. I'm very happy to see everything. So thank you very much for presenting this important and valued content to us.
Sure.
Thank you. Now anyone ask the question to Dr. Desikan Rajagopal?
I'm happy to take up any question. In fact, I always say this: my talk, any talk that I give, will not be completed unless I take at least 1 or 2 questions from audience.
Sir, Prasanna here, sir. I have a doubt, sir.
Yes, Prasanna. Yes.
Yes, sir. While talking about the derivatives from the phytochemicals, while it is going for in vivo or in vivo models, whether it is needing any conjugate to pair with, sir, to give better efficacy, or it is directly it is giving.
I understand that so conjugate with the biological system. Huh?
Yes, sir.
No. See, our idea is basically you take a phytonutrients. As I mentioned, you take a phytonutrients, which is known in the food and other plant materials, and then you take that as a specific, and then our idea is to create a new chemical entities, and these new chemical entities more active than original parent phytochemical, so that we can have a better reactivity. So in fact, it's a chemical conjugation. In fact, as a matter of fact, it's a chemical conjugation of the phytochemical with a new molecule and create a new chemical entity.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks for the explanation.
Thank you, Doctor. Any other questions?
Any questions from audience? I hope I did not take. I think I have taken correctly 55 minutes or something. Correct?
Okay, Sailaja. Mr. Sailaja, are you like to ask question? Okay. Okay. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you for giving this wonderful presentation to us. Now, Soundarya, you can give your thank address to Dr. Desikan Rajagopal.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your great knowledge with us, sir. Your talk was jam-packed with useful information, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, thank you once again, Dr. Purushothaman and other team members for organizing this. I know you are putting a lot of effort in. No, it's not an easy job, correct? And then I also seen your YouTube and all. I know you are putting, good. You are making a lot of efforts. And then I wish you, all the best remaining, 4 days of this conference. And I'm sure that the audience and students and scholars and faculty members will be benefited, by attending this conference. Because the very theme of the conference is extremely, very interesting, because biological research. Of course, when I'm talking about biological, it's very, very important. So you have taken a right theme. I wish you once again the grand success for your this Bio Yojana. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.